Yo, it's Crazy Kurt Comics. We got a fun show for you today. Man, Marvel's going to be taking all my money, and I'm really not happy about it. All right, I'm a little bit happy about it, but I'm like not happy about it, you know what I'm saying? All right, I got movies I found at that thrift store. I got some comics I found at that thrift store. I got a stack of graphic novels I found at that thrift store. Man, people, I do a lot of thrifting. Go talk about some new books coming out. I got my little mini haul from the bookstore this week. So I got all kinds of stuff going on. Stick around, because the more you stick around, the more you find out. This is Crazy Kurt Comics. Let's go! Thanks for sticking around. Now, before we get into all this comic book stuff, before we start comic booking, that's right, I'm going to make it into a verb, people. Comic booking is going to be a verb. I want you to take care of the business. Let's hit this little button right here, the subscribe button. Get the little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, get notified every time I do a new video. Well, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Like I said, Marvel's going to be taking all my money. And why are they going to be taking all my money? Well, they announced that they're going to put out another set of Alex Ross variants. That's right, Alex Ross variants. Here we are, whole set, 16 right there. Man, I love these things. Can I just tell you, I absolutely love these things. All right, so I love Alex Ross variants. Now, here go all the villain variants. I got all of 37 different villains when they were out. But unfortunately, the heroes, they came out a couple years earlier. And guess what, people? If you don't know my story, I wasn't collecting comics during that time. I had taken like a 20-year break from comics, and I just came back right after COVID. We moved into the house, and right there behind that door is the comic book room. I made that when I made the comic book room, because I had all these comics I brought with me from Philadelphia. I'm in Utah now. And I fell back in love with comics. I've been into it hardcore ever since. So I don't have any of the variants. So up until yesterday, these are the only 3 variants I had for the heroes. I had Vision, I have Nightcrawler, and I have Medusa. So I decided I'm going to have to hunt down all 36 of the hero variants. And it's going to not be cheap. So I'm trying to do it as cheap as I can. So I'm checking eBay, I'm checking Macari, I'm digging around trying to find deals. And I found a guy who had a Hulk bundle. And what I got out of that for only $10, and it was like $5 to have it shipped. So I spent $15. I got 2 that I already had. So I already have the leader, so I'll be able to resell that, right? And I got the Abomination, right? And I'll be able to resell that. But then I was able to get She-Hulk. Oh, all right, that's number 4 that I got, right? Or is that number 4? Yeah, it's number 4 I got. And then the Hulk. Hulk's hard to find. There wasn't a lot of listings for the Hulk. So now I got 5, and I spent $15 so far. So we'll see how it goes. But the same guy that I bought the bundle from, I noticed that he had other bundles. And it was always 4 books at a time. But sometimes it was like villains and heroes mixed. I already have all the villains. But it'd be like 3 villains and 1 hero comic, or 2 villains and a hero comic. So I messaged them. You never know, people. We always assume people won't do deals. I messaged them and said, hey, is there any way I want these 7 or 8 that you have, can you make a listing of just these? And, and he was able to do that. And he had other ones he hadn't listed yet. And he's going to put a listing together just for me. And he did, and I bought it. So I'm waiting for them to come, and I'm going to show those off. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. I want to make sure they're actually in good condition and they're actually good comics. But he packaged excellently. It was cardboarded, bubble wrapped. It was stuffed in the Gemini mailer and put inside a padded envelope. So he did a really good job at protecting the books. So I'm praying that they're going to be good. And when they come in, I'm going to do another video and show them off. This is going to be an ongoing thing with the Alex Ross variants. I'm going to keep showing them until I get them all. And we got the new set of 16 coming out. That's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm 5 out of the 36 into the heroes. Man, I hate collecting comics. I love collecting comics. So that's what I got going on for Alex Ross. Alrighty, so before we get into some other stuff, I gotta say something. One last thing about the Alex Ross variants. This is a much better version of the leader than what was in the Captain America Brave New World movie. I prefer this with the real long head as opposed to the mutated looking head. That's just my 2 cents. Alright, but let's get into other stuff. So other things that Marvel announced recently, this isn't like, latest of news, but within the last couple weeks, hey, here's a contest for everybody, okay? We're going to guess the number of variants there's going to be for Spider-Man and Wolverine, 2 of Marvel's most popular, if not the most popular characters in Marvel. They're going to be together in a new book, and it's not a limited series, people. It's an ongoing series. Spider-Man Wolverine series. I'm going to guess 27 different variants. Is that the over and under for how many variants there are for that? Man, and not to mention that there's going to be a new Spider-Man #1 coming out. That's volume like 9 or volume 10. I forget what volume we're up to now. So how many variants are going to be for that? Oh my God. Now I'm a guy, honestly, I really just stick to the A variants, the A covers. I really very rarely will buy a variant unless it's something special. I started down the rabbit hole of something, and if you do not know who this guy is, right here, I'm going to put it up because I don't have the book. I think this week the 4th printing came out of book #1 right here, Monsters by Mark Spears. Mark Spears is the go-to it guy right now for covers. His covers are absolutely fantastic. He does this thing where it's like, I'm not sure, but it looks like it's partly painted, partly digital, but he has something with this green and the neons and the coloring that he does. Oh, it's just really amazing. But, so I found a website that listed all his covers, and he hasn't really done a lot of covers. I mean, total, it might be, not including Monsters, which has a bunch of different variants, and really all of those are amazing. So I think they're up to issue #3 right now, but you should really go back, get any cover that you can of any of the 3 issues. So they're really just amazing. They're Universal Monsters called Mark Spears Monsters. It's a good book, plus the artwork, the cover work is just fantastic. So anyway, I found this list, went through all different covers. It's only been for the last couple of years, and it's really only a handful, maybe 20 covers, maybe not even. So I went through my LCS, all the bins. First of all, timeout. Check out my LCS. It's Black Cat Comics in Salt Lake City. I go to this one because of the massive amount of back issues. Check out this B-roll I took of all the back issues that he has. Is this not an amazing amount? Yeah, that's a lot of back issues. So I go through all those. I go through all those bins alphabetical, and I got my list out. And these are the Mark Spears covers that I found. These are variant covers. These are the Mark Spears covers that I found. We got Spawn number 340. All right, now he also did Spawn number, I think it's 356 or 354. I'm not really sure. But just a very cool cover, I thought. All right, we got Action Comics 1060. Look at those colors, man. Those colors are just really, really, really good. All right, and then this is an amazing cover. It's a Green Lantern, right? The new Green Lantern, and it's 2 you put together, and look at that. That is really just so cool. Green Lantern, good book, by the way. And then he did 2 Shazam covers, 20 and 28. My store didn't have 28, but we got number 20. Now 28 has the Marvel family all looking like they're all together, but this I thought was a pretty cool cover. So Mark Spears, I went and got some Mark Spears covers. I just really like the artwork on the Mark Spears covers. And one other back issue that I got this week. If you haven't heard, about 5 issues ago, Spider-Boy number 12. It had Daredevil on the front. Also had some variants. But this issue right here is the first appearance or reappearance of Spider-Girl. That's right, we got Spider-Boy, now we're going to have Spider-Girl. And Spider-Girl's getting her own ongoing series coming up soon. So if you haven't gotten this one, Spider-Boy 12, go back and get it. It's the first appearance of Spider-Girl. I'm trying to limit what I get in terms of new comic books, but I have to get some Moon Knight. So we got Moon Knight there. Cruel Kingdom. I love horror or fantasy anthologies. This is East Coast Comics or Entertainment Comics, EC Comics. They doing a lot of old school, kind of like House of Horror, House of Mystery. They did something called Cruel Universe, which was a science fiction based anthology series. All the science fiction stories all have a unique twist at the end, like Twilight Zone. They also did Epitaphs from the Abyss. They have this one called Cruel Kingdom. It's like a fantasy element. Again, all the stories have like a little twist to it. I mean, come on. You have to give Wolverine. This is a cool cover, by the way. Ultimates. All the Ultimate books are good, except for X-Men. High Street. Ghost Machine, people. Get on Ghost Machine. Hey, you're looking for something that's different from Marvel and DC and all the superhero stuff that they do. Try the 4 books that Ghost Machine has out right now in the Unnamed Universe. High Street, Growing Up, issue number 4. Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook. All 4 of those books are a lot of fun. You're looking for a different universe, that might be one to try. All right, Huge Detective. Now, the reason why I'm reading this book is the author of this book reached out to me on TikTok and asked me if I did a review on this book, and I did not. So I had to go buy the book and check it out, do a review on it. And it's called Huge Detective, and it takes place in a world where there are giants. When I say giants, I'm not talking about like, you know, like a 10-foot tall giant. These things are as big as buildings. There's giants and inhumans. They coexist in the world. And there is a murder, and it is something that has to get investigated by the human detectives and the huge detectives. So there's a huge detective and a human detective. They have to team up even though they don't like each other. And then, because humans don't like the giants and giants don't really like the humans. And they have to team up to try to solve this crime. Or it's going to be, it's going to lead to mass chaos for both races. So interesting book. I like the world building that they're doing. It's interesting. It's different. So that might be one to, I started reading and I want to find out what happens at the end. So might be one to look out for. And then I wasn't going to get all the side books, but it's Doctor Strange. I really like Doctor Strange. It's Doctor Strange of Asgard. So it's a new take, you know, Doctor Strange, the One World Under Doom storyline. So I had to get that one. So that's the new books that I got for this past week. Plus, Yo, I am a big thrifter. One of the things I do is I go around to lots of thrift stores. Here in Salt Lake City, it's kind of like a hotbed for thrifting. And there are 15 different thrift stores. When I say thrift stores, like chains, there's Goodwill, there's a place called Savers, there's another one called the WWE I, it's run by the church. They have them all throughout the valley here in Salt Lake City. And I go and thrift. I find a lot of pop culture items, things that I can resell, and the money I get from reselling is what I use to buy comic books. But I find all kinds of stuff. And all these things I found all in thrift stores, like the glass sets, the DC glass sets right there. Let's take a look at those. Spider-Man, Groot, Godzilla, King Kong. Trying to find all four of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of this style. Look at this awesome newspaper clip collection book from Spider-Man. And you got the giant Spider-Man. That's just some of the stuff. But all these books, people, even the pillows. So most of these books I found at thrift stores, where I got really awesome deals on at thrift stores or thrift store websites. And all these things, stuff, I mean, I swear to God, every single one of these books I've gotten either at a thrift store or a comic book lot that I bought. So, it's crazy, right? Like, here's fair market value, and then here's where I want to be. So, I do lots and lots of thrifting. So, getting to my thrifting, and what I like to do, I found lots of movies. Lots of movies. I like to collect Blu-rays, and I found some movies, and they were all like $1 a piece. So let's get into that. Hey, we're gonna Unstoppable. Hey, it's Tony Scott. He makes great action movies. Denzel Washington, Chris Pine, can't beat it. Brand new. It hasn't even been opened yet. Silver Linings Playbook. Hey, Oscars. Bradley Cooper. Hey, it's got the Eagles in it. You know I'm all about that, right? We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I Am Legend. Whether you like the ending or didn't like the ending, still a good movie. Knight's Tale, awesome popcorn flick. Outside of Dark Knight, I think this is my favorite Heath Ledger movie. I just love this movie a lot. And then these two movies we're going to talk about last. First of all, this might be my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love Pulp Fiction. This Reservoir Dogs put Quentin Tarantino on the map, but this made him into a star director. This is just an amazing movie. I love everything about it. There's so many things. My father-in-law loved this movie. We talk about it all the time. There's so many things from this movie. It became normal. It normalized telling stories out of order. And it was done occasionally, but not to the extent like this movie did. And now everybody tells stories out of order. It's become the norm, and all because of this movie. Now, if you're lucky enough to have the 10th anniversary, I think it's the 10th anniversary edition of Pulp Fiction on DVD, there is an Easter egg. Now, Easter eggs were big back when DVDs were out. If you don't know what an Easter egg is like a secret code you can put in using your remote, or it might be a secret part of the menu screen that's not highlighted that you can get to, and there's different features in there that you don't know about. So in the Pulp Fiction 10th Anniversary Edition, there is a feature where you can click a code or do something, and some film student edited Pulp Fiction, but they edited it back in chronological order, so you have to watch the whole thing in chronological order. So that's a unique way to do it. But I got Pulp Fiction Blu-ray. I love this. All right, and then this movie. I want to talk about this movie because if there ever should have been a sequel for a movie, it's this movie right here. First of all, stars geek boys, fanboys' favorite actor. He's been in everything that's a geek. Everything that's a geek thing that fans love has a following. Lord of the Rings? Yep, did that. Did he do an MCU movie? Sure the hell did. Did he be in Star Trek? Yup. Did he do Star Wars? I don't think he's done Star Wars yet. No, I don't think he's done Star Wars yet. And he's in one of the best comic book entities that's out right now in The Boys. It's Carl Urban. He did Dredd. Yo, if Sly Stallone's Dredd is way over here in terms of silliness and campiness and not taking himself seriously, this is super serious and violent. I love this movie, and I am so upset it didn't have a sequel. Now, I know that Carl Urban's face is hardly ever shown in this. He's not shown at all. He's got the helmet on the whole time. The bad guy, or the villain in this is Cersei Lannister and Lena Headey. And it's basically like the movie, what is that Japanese action movie? I'm going to forget it. Is it The Raid? Where they have to go into a building, it's a drug building, and it's sort of like the same thing. He's going to arrest somebody, she's at the top floor, and she owns the whole entire building, and there's all kind of guns, and people trying to he tries to get to the top floor to kill her, or to arrest her, to serve judge, jury, and execution. Dude, why did they never make a movie? Now, I heard that they were going to try to make a sequel to this before COVID. Then COVID kind of screwed everything up, and then it kind of fell through the cracks. But man, you can't tell me he wouldn't want to make another one of these. This is like, how could you not make this movie? Sequel. Love this movie. I didn't have it on Blu-ray, but I have it now. All right, so that's the Blu-rays that I got. Comic books that I found. I thought these were pretty unique. I wasn't a big Thundercats person. I was a little too old by the time Thundercats came around. And but I know Thundercats have a following. Yeah, they got the Dynamite comic that's out right now. It's very popular. But I found these couple, 2 issues of number 16 and 1 issue of number 12. They were only $1. Found them at a Goodwill. They were really, really good condition. There's no ticks on them or anything. So I put them up in eBay for sale and Macari just to, I'll definitely get more than $1 for it. And then the other thing I found, which I'd never heard of this miniseries, and I love The Punisher, right? I mean, I really do. I love The Punisher. But these, this series, I just missed out on this series. And it's The Punisher, The Platoon. I got each of these for $1. It's by Garth Ennis, and it's Frank Castle's exploits in Vietnam, right? Vietnam, and it's like where he kind of starts to begin showing his violent tendencies, and before he becomes the Punisher. It's kind of like lays all the groundwork for him to become the Punisher. But the troops start whispering about things this guy does, and it's number 1, there's number 2, there's number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Got them all for $1 a piece, so I will gladly take that for a early Punisher Frank Castle story. You saw the shelves, lots and lots of graphic novels over the years. I didn't hear about this series, and apparently it's a lot because this is volume 7. So they must have done a lot, but it's The Wicked and the Divine, and it's an image book. And apparently every 90 years, 12 guys return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So it sounds like a pretty cool idea for a book. I, don't know anything about it, but I got volume 7, and it's only a couple bucks. All right, this guy's not the most popular at the moment, and we're not going to talk about him, but we are going to talk about the books that he did. Neil Gaiman. All right, we got The Doll's House, that's volume 2. We got volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes. It's The Sandman, people. Sandman is a phenomenal book. Flashpoint. I don't gotta say anything else. Flashpoint. Captain Marvel. This is the 2014 book. First 6 issues in this trade paperback, and I read it. It's a Higher, Further, Faster, and More. And it's a pretty fun read, I thought. So if you like Captain Marvel, this might be a good one for you to get. I have it already, so if I couldn't pass getting it for $2, I'll gladly resell that. All right, we got Batman, and this is Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader. It's a bunch of different stories having to do with Batman. Monstrous. Art Deco meets steampunk horror. How could you, And I've had this a couple different times and always able to sell it. Pretty good book. It's volume 1. And then finally, this is a hardcover. It's a deluxe edition of Sandman, The Overture. And like I said, it's a hardcover. This is pretty cool. This is normally like a $25 book. And I got it for $2. So, all those in one big trip, all at the same time. They were all there. Someone must have just donated them and they put them out. And I was lucky enough to walk in and get them right when it happened. All right, that is the show for today. I hope you found something that you liked or was interested in when I talked about stuff. So, and if not, tune in again anyway, because maybe next time it'll be something different for you. Now, this is Crazy Kurt Comics. Peace!